All right, so we are correcting our math homework from Friday. We are on page 147. So for homework over the weekend, you had numbers 3 through 6 and number 10. So for number 3, it said, each elephant at the zoo eats 125 pounds of food per day. How many pounds of food will 18 elephants eat? Well, we had to think about if one elephant eats 125 and we want to know how much 18 elephants eat, we would take 125 and multiply it by 18, and that should have gotten you 2,250 pounds. If you forgot your unit, mark it as incorrect and add pounds. Nope, you should be using the unit that they use. So you guys, in your word problem, they will tell you what unit to use. You want to be using as close of a unit as they did. If you said pounds of food, that would work as well. You don't just want to say food, because if you say food, I don't know exactly what measurement you're using. Are you talking about pounds? Are you talking about ounces?
Calories.
Yeah, so that's why we want to make sure we included pounds. All right, questions on number 3? All right, then we had number 4. So number 4 said, Joy travels a lot for her job. She flies 2,840 miles each week for 4 weeks. How many miles in all does she fly? So we should have taken 2,840 and multiplied it by 4, which would have gotten you 11,360 miles. So make sure you have miles as your unit. If you do not have miles, you should mark it incorrect and add miles as your unit. You notice they gave you that unit in the problem. They talk about miles. Yes, Zoe.
We still get half a point if we added miles, so we got it.
Well, for homework you can. On a test you wouldn't, but on homework you can. Okay. All right. Then we have number 5. Jerry weighs 105 pounds. If a male brown bear weighs 11 times as much, what is the brown bear's weight? So we would have taken 105 and multiplied by 11, and that would have given us 1,155 pounds. So pounds is our unit. Yep, so for this problem, a male brown bear weighs around 1,155 pounds. Questions on number 5. So what they were doing, you guys, if you notice, they turned theirs into an equation. So like the answer you're trying to find, they put a variable or a letter there. So in number 3, they were trying to find F, and then they said F equals 2,250 pounds. We'll get into that a little bit this year using variables and equations. This is just kind of a preview of what that can look like. All right, can I go on to number 6? No? Okay. And we're going to go over to 6. So number 6. So number 6 said, oh, here, let me put that up a little bit. Meg measured the length of some pieces of wire. What is the difference in length between the longest and the shortest piece of wire? So I had a lot of people ask me questions about this because they were thinking that they were looking for the most and the least amount of x's for each number. But that's not what they're asking for. Each of these x's represents one piece of wire. So one piece of wire was 3 inches long. 2 pieces of wire were 5 inches. 3 pieces were 6 inches. 3 pieces were 7 inches long. And then 1 piece was 9 inches long. They want to know the difference in length between the longest and the shortest piece of wire. So if we look here, our longest piece of wire she found was 9 inches. And the shortest piece of wire she measured was 3 inches. So we have 9 and 3. And we know when we have to find the difference, what do we use? We use, starts with an S, subtraction. So you should have taken 9 minus 3. Now we get you 6 inches. Are there questions on number 6? Elena? You did IN? That works. Yep.
said wires out inches.
Next time you could probably just say inches.
Yeah, do my shoulder.
Yep. All right, then we have number 10. So number 10 said, the table shows the number of miles 3 runners ran last week. Order their numbers from least to greatest. Which runner ran the farthest? How do you know? So if we look at these, they're all decimals, right? They all have a decimal and then numbers after the decimal. So our largest number is, our smallest number, yep, least to greatest, is 15 3/100ths. Second smallest would be 15 25/100ths. Or sorry, I said that wrong. 15 2/10ths, 15.2. And then our largest one would be 15 25/100ths. When I said that, I was like, wait a minute. So, you guys, when you are comparing numbers that are decimals, you want them all to have the same amount of digits. Now, does Darla's miles have the same amount of digits as Casey and Juan? No. What imaginary number is always here? With decimals, there's a 0. So it's like you're comparing, because they all have 15, it's like you're comparing 3, 25, and 20. Well, the 3 is going to be the smallest, then the 20, because there's an imaginary 0 for Darla, and then the 25 for Casey. So Casey ran the farthest because 15 25/100ths is the greatest number. Are there questions on number 10? Now, for my returning students, Mrs. Wells told me you guys were working on decimals during distance learning. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Can you show me just on your hands, everyone, how do you feel? Like, what is your level of understanding when it comes to decimals? Just right now, 1 through 5, just show me. What is your level of understanding for decimals? I just want to see. Okay. Okay, so we're kind of across the board, and that's okay. All right, go ahead, put your hands down. Now I want you to show me your level of understanding on this entire homework assignment. How did you feel on this homework assignment, 1 through 5? How did we feel? All right. Jack L, make sure you're giving me a number, 1 through 5. Awesome. Okay, go ahead, put your hands down. And we are done correcting our homework.